It's time to start pushing. Oh, you ready? You're ready. You're ready. Push. Push, Wanda. Push!
Hello everybody, welcome back to 2FAST2MOVIE. I'm your host Kenny and my co-host Jose. And we are covering Wandavision episode 3, now in color. They have episode names now, so that's great. So Jose, going in brief thoughts, what do you think about this episode?
I really like this episode. I think this episode gave me a little bit of vibes of Bewitched, and with the intro, it reminded me of the Brady Bunch a little bit, especially with the title the logo intro.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know much about the Brady Bunch. I've never delved into any of the sitcoms in the 70s. The closest thing I've watched from the 70s was like the Incredible Hulk series, and that's not a sitcom, but it was good. So before we delve in further, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. We upload new videos every week, and as always, spoilers ahead, so you have been warned. So yeah, for me, this episode, it really hooked me. It's basically what I wanted more from the past few episodes. I wanted more of what this episode gave, so that's good, and I'm glad that it's sort of going from like sitcom into almost psychological horror type thing, where the cracks are starting to show within this reality that Wanda has created, that I'm assuming she's created. Episode 3 is named Now in Color. It's directed by Matt Shakman and written by Megan McDonnell. Okay, so I guess where do we start? I don't know much about 70s sitcom or the Brady Bunch, but how did you think they handled the sort of mise en scène for this episode?
I think they handled it pretty well. Like, going off of the previous episodes, it's kind of like what I said before, that's kind of just going on an upward trend with nailing the sitcom genre, as well as the feel for each decade. Yeah, and with the Brady Bunch mentioned that I mentioned earlier, I think it's mostly with like the color and the kind of small little laughs and like jokes that they put in there. That's really what nails it for me.
That's good. My intrigue is this week is not from the sitcom perspective, because I'm just not familiar with this era. It's not my cup of tea, I guess, in terms of sitcom tastes. But what intrigued me was sort of the what's going on in the background, sort of, and I kind of want to delve into that. I guess the first thing I wanted to point out was, and this sort of goes back into the past few episodes, if you go back, the use of hexagons. Have you noticed that?
I didn't catch that, actually.
In the intro, they're always framed within hexagons. Like that even goes back into the first episode, where when they close out and they look and smile into the camera, and the sort of hexagons in, a lot of hexagon shapes. I don't know what it means yet, but it could be like a reference to Wanda's hex powers, or something else. And also the beekeeper too, hexagon, bees, honeycombs. I guess we'll delve into plot before we go further into that. So in this episode, Wanda is quickly becoming pregnant. Delving further into her pregnancy. As the episode goes further, and she has twins. Jose, what's the significance of these twins?
For those that either haven't seen the episode yet or just aren't familiar with the comics, the twins are named Billy and Tommy. And for those who don't understand the significance of it, this is, of course, to give a nod to Wiccan or Wiccan?
Wiccan.
Yeah, Wiccan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Wiccan and Speed, respectively, Billy, Wiccan, Tommy, Speed.
Yeah.
And these are members of the Young Avengers, which also
Mhm.
include small other members like Iron Lad, Kate Bishop's Hawkeye, Patriot, just kind of the kid versions of heroes, basically.
Yeah, and also the other significance to Billy and Tommy. I'll go further later as we pick apart more of the Easter eggs and stuff. The Wanda has these two twins, and it also ties into the sort of theme. If you remember in the last episode, they were doing this talent show for the children, quote unquote, but we don't see any children. So I'm thinking that this pocket world was probably made just to create Billy and Tommy, you know. That I guess that's what I'm getting at. And yeah, for the rest of the episode, there were parts where it seems like the illusion was breaking, like Vision's neighbor just was supposed to be cutting the hedges, but then all of a sudden just cutting through that cinder block
fence,
wall.
yeah.
And I don't know. What do you think is going on with that? Do you think they're aware of what's going on, or are they just mesmerized under a spell and they really don't know what they're doing?
I think Wanda's getting closer to what's happening, just to get a feel of what is going on with at least her, because we don't know about Vision really, but this kind of goes back to what we talked a little bit about in the last episode, that these could be S.H.I.E.L.D. agents watching her, because with I already forgot her name, the person who was with Wanda, Geraldine, right? We get a close-up view of her necklace, which actually has the S.W.o.r.D. logo.
Yeah. So the thing with I don't know. So here's the thing, with shows like this, I try not to look up anything, but I know who this character actually is because it was announced way back. I don't know if I should spoil that for you, Jose, so I'm just gonna keep it. If you don't really know who this character is, I will just shut up about it. Unless you want to know, but I think it's best if I keep my mouth shut. I don't.
No worries there. You can go ahead.
So do you want me to go into it, or should I?
No, we'll keep it secret for now.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep for those who know, you know. So with Geraldine, I'm just gonna ignore what I know, but I'm just gonna ask questions to you, Jose, to see what you think. So, who do you think Geraldine really is, or obviously from the sword necklace, I think we can guess that of course she's a sword agent, because towards the end she gets yeeted out of that
whatever
town.
World or thing that
whatever illusion it is, and sword agents sort of came to her aid towards the end, and we can guess that helicopter that Wanda saw in that last episode was from the outside, that somehow got in and became a toy helicopter, I guess. But what are your theories on just keeping in mind of the whole MCU, I guess. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know, but what are your thoughts, or who Geraldine is?
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I have no real clue about who Geraldine could be. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing I guess by the sound of you knowing her, that she'll make an appearance again somewhere down the episodes.
Yeah. The actress is a regular on the series. If I'm if I'm like if I'm right. You'll hopefully by next episode we'll see more of what's going on the outside, and delve into what's going on. So the other character I want to talk about is Agnes, Wanda's neighbor. Like she kept showing up every now and then, just like, oh, here's a pineapple, or like it looks like she's keeping, like, she's seemingly like harmless, but it looks like she's keeping an eye on Wanda and Vision, and I think that's clearly evident towards the end when Vision was asking the neighbors, just like, hey, what's going on, and his neighbor was about to say something, and she just like turned to him and just said, stop it. Kind of reminiscent of the first episode with at the dinner scene,
the Miss Hart.
Yeah, just going, stop it. So do you have any theories on who Agnes is, or like or what, her importance, before I delve into my theories?
I did have a theory, and by theory I mean something I saw online, because internet's quick to spoil for it. I can't remember what her significance was, or like what character she was related to in the Marvel universe. But I believe it had something to do with either her necklace or a logo on her shirt or something that we saw within the first few episodes.
Yeah, her pendants.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, that's all kind of all I had, because I forgot the name of the important character she's supposed to be.
Yeah, me too. But I'll probably edit a thing right here to show you guys who we're talking about. But yeah, she could be playing a witch type character. This character is supposedly like I guess like helped Wanda manifest her powers, or like she's a villain, and I think she's here to like guard Wanda for something a lot more sinister. And that goes back to Billy and Tommy. I did love that scene where she just had the babies, and Geraldine was like, hey, your brother was killed by Ultron, right? And that's when things just start getting almost like Annie, like, what's the word for it? Ominous.
That's it.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that, Geraldine being there, like, she's a S.w.o.r.D agent trying to come in and probably break Wanda out of it. And that beekeeper we saw was probably just some guy in a hazmat suit, but like, the illusion just sort of made it look like a beekeeper, I guess. Because if you look back in that scene, there's a S.w.o.r.D logo right on his back. And yeah, I guess like, my question to you, Jose, is that do you think this was a thing that Wanda created, or is someone doing this to her?
I want to say that it's something Wanda created. That feels more natural to me. It's hard to kind of imagine who could be doing this to her. For me, at least. I don't know if you have any theories or not, but I haven't gotten a single theory about that. But I think it's more likely that she created this while under some kind of surveillance of S.w.o.r.D, or at least some kind of just some kind of thing she came up with.
Yeah. Well, my theory, and again, this goes along with the rest of the internet. Well, I'll start with Billy and Tommy. In the comics, Billy and Tommy are the children of Wanda and Vision, kind of a weird way, but because they can't actually have a child together. Wanda created them like out of magic, but in order to bring life into them, she had to use like the magic of the devil, Mephisto. And
Okay.
I think this is, and I think Mephisto is behind this. So I think someone probably did this to her, but she's aware of it and she wants to stay here. That's sort of my theory, because from what I can gauge from the theme of this show, I think we're delving into Wanda's trauma, which I think is a given, and we're just going in further and further. Like everything seems surface level. Like she wants to be happy, she wants to stay in this illusion, but every time that anything comes up, she seemingly just snaps her fingers and then just rewinds like that glitch. You remember which scene I'm talking about?
Yeah, the small glitch that happens right when the doctor leaves and Wanda and Vision are talking about her pregnancy, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a small moment where Vision, I believe he feels kind of either reluctant or confused about it, and then it's just a small glitch to him back to standing up, where he's agreeing to Wanda and just seemingly comfortable with it, like out of nowhere.
Yeah. I was watching that. I watched through my phone and I share screen onto my TV. And when that glitch happened, I thought it was the AirPlay. I thought it was something happened. I was like, oh wait, I gotta rewind.
I did the same thing.
But I looked at it again. I was like, oh wait, no, this is intentional. And I really like how they use editing to help with the story as well. And yeah, I think the editing in this episode is fantastic. And just I don't know, there's just something unnerving about that glitch. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint what it's supposed to mean. I don't know if it's just maybe going to what Wanda wishes would happen with Vision. Maybe it was a small break in some kind of simulation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my guess for it.
Yeah. I think this also plays into the meta-ness of the show. Just playing with the audience, because in the last episode we watched with the Magic Act, Vision literally says to the crowd, and I feel like the show's saying to us that we will show you magic, right? And you will believe every minute of it.
Right.
We will sell you an illusion, and you will believe it. Meanwhile, there's things happening in the background, and I think that plays into the sort of theme of the show. That this, and Vision quoted Shakespeare in this episode too. So it's purposefully a narrative for an audience to watch, whether it's us or S.W.o.r.d. or maybe Mephisto, whomever's watching.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also, the other importance is Wanda's powers. How powerful she can be in the comics. Are you aware of that?
I mostly know about her reality bending powers, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the extent that what I'm familiar with, and besides from what the MCU has shown.
Yeah. So yeah, according to Kevin Feige, Wanda is the most powerful Avenger, and I think this show is going to prove it. In the comics, there's this arc called House of M, where she whispered, "No more mutants," and lo and behold, no mutants. And I think with WandaVision, this opens opportunities to widen the Marvel universe and sort of bring in characters that we've always wanted in the MCU. But so this is sort of opening that doorway. Abe messaged me last week, just hey, he saw on a Reddit board or something, what if instead of her saying no more mutants, it's no period more mutants, So yeah, this might be segue into the X-Men. What are your thoughts on that?
That's definitely very likely. Going more into I guess a little bit of rumors of the of WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
There is a rumor that or I don't know if this was a rumor or if it was confirmed to be it. I forgot. But
Mm-hmm.
Evan Peters, the guy who plays Quicksilver in the Fox's X-Men,
Mm-hmm.
is set to be in a role,
Oh,
possibly for Quicksilver for WandaVision.
okay.
And this could tie back into Doctor Strange too.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this could be one of the multiverses, Quicksilver, somehow making his way to Wanda's
Hmm.
whatever she's stuck in or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Like appearing in the show?
I believe so. Yes.
Huh. Wow.
So
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
yeah,
Huh.
so it's likely that we're gonna get hints of more mutants coming within the MCU. I guess I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember if they said that X-Men was coming in Phase 4 or not, but it's probably just gonna have at least a couple mutants come and showcase themselves.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't think Kevin Feige said that X-Men won't come until not for a while.
Okay.
Maybe Phase 5. I'm not sure, but he could be lying. I don't know. um, yeah, that's really interesting. I would really like that, but also uh, rip the previous actor for Quicksilver
Yeah.
in Age of Ultron. Yeah, no, but I did like that they brought up Quicksilver again in this episode. I wasn't expecting it, and I was like, oh, okay, we're talking about it again. That's great. Um,
More screen time for him.
yeah, well, I guess
Mentioned. Yeah.
mentioned. But yeah, I think yeah, this will definitely open doors. And what really ties into her reality bending powers is that when Geraldine was inside that world, like her clothes changed, right? And then when she got thrown out of that bubble, she still had those clothes. So I'm guessing that's a hint to that. Her powers changing reality will stay. You know, um, if that bubble gets any wider, or and her reality based powers will start changing the whole MCU. I think that's a hint towards that. I I guess my question to you, Jose, is that with her reality changing powers, what do you want to see? We're taking this at face value that this is opening doors for uh, other titles coming in soon. What are you excited to see the most?
I guess I'm excited to see what Billy and Tommy's role in WandaVision is going to be. If they'll grow up more, or hopefully they're a permanent stay in the MCU. I would like that a lot,
Mm-hmm.
because with WandaVision, I still have a little bit of confusion about whether she actually had the kids or not.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely want to see more of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's a good segue just to more mutants and whatever else comes about from the next episodes.
Yeah, yeah. I think Billy and Tommy are definitely. What I think is that they're going to stay, and because of that pregnancy that was going through very quick in one
Right.
day, I'm sure probably that they're going to start growing up. And yeah, tying back to that, to my, well, not my theory, but the Mephisto theory, that Mephisto was needed to create these two, and I'm sure that they're probably going to stick around, and that's a consequence for Wanda. Deal with the devil. Not maybe. Who knows? And yeah, I there's a lot because Bill and Tommy are showing up. There is a lot of setup for Young Avengers, because Kate, the Hawkeye series that's shooting right now, has
Right.
Kate Bishop. So I think it would be dumb to not have the Young Avengers. I would definitely watch a series on the Young Avengers. Are you familiar with the Young Avengers comics? Because I'm not.
I only mostly know about the members. And I forget if other characters like Kamala Khan or Miss Marvel
Oh
are
yes, yeah.
members of Young Avengers or not.
Yeah, the newer Young Avengers has characters like Miss Marvel, Nova,
Okay.
uh,
S-
Spider-Man, Miles Morales,
Right.
and yeah, uh, if they do a Nova series or movie or whatever, I want them to cast the actor from the actor of Miguel from Cobra Kai. I think
Okay.
he'd be perfect as Nova. What do you think?
I can definitely see that happening as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's perfect for it, and Marvel really needs to get on that. um,
Was Nova hinted at in any previous movies like Guardians of the Galaxy or Captain Marvel? If you know.
the Nova Core, I think that's the closest we got. Um, Again, I don't know too much about Nova. I'm super more familiar with DC Comics, if I'm being honest. But I love both Marvel and DC. But like, if we're going for like obscure comic book references, I know more about DC than Marvel. But yeah, but for the closest thing we got was the Nova Corps, the law enforcement officers that helped the Guardians towards the end of the first Guardians movie.
Right.
That was the closest we got. But yeah, I definitely want to see them do Nova, and more people of color representation in terms of like Marvel superheroes, because the Young Avengers is a very diverse cast,
Right.
and I definitely want to see that. But yeah, besides Young Avengers, are you looking forward to any more other properties like maybe Doctor Strange or something?
Definitely Doctor Strange. I know they said it's going to be MCU's like first kind of horror movie, which is weird for me because I'm not a big horror fan, but I'm really interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I'm interested in She-Hulk as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I know this upcoming Spider-Man movie is rumored for a lot of different rumors,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, mostly the ones I mentioned, Miss Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully Daredevil comes back.
I really hoped. I've been rewatching Daredevil, and that show is like so good, and it's still my favorite superhero show ever.
Right.
Um, and with the caliber that is WandaVision, just how different it is, and just the overall quality of it. I feel like if they brought Daredevil back with like this kind of budget, I think it'd be amazing. Um,
Right. I agree.
so our verdicts for this episode. Episode 3 now in color. What do you think? Yay or nay?
Definitely a yay for me.
Mhm.
It was. I don't want to say a big improvement because to me each episode was like their own level,
Mm-hmm.
but it was definitely what really hooked me up even more on the show.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely yay for me. I watched it with my sister. She, the first episodes didn't really grab her, but this one definitely did. And she's like, yeah, I'll stick around and watch it. I agree with you. Like, each episode is sort of a self-contained thing. And I kind of see it as like, the first episode, like Wanda's really like, in this illusion. And as the episodes continue, the cracks are starting to show. We won't be able to tell what's real and what's not anymore. I really don't know where they're going with this, and I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what's next. Where do you think this is going to end? Do you think?
I could definitely see a little bit of probably Mephisto doing it some kind of what's it called, effect for Wanda, whether that's putting a strain on her or something like that, and then that leads into Doctor Strange too, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I know it has to do with Doctor Strange, of course, and I don't know if he'll show up on WandaVision, like I said last time, I think, or not, but I can definitely see this ending on a bit of a cliffhanger for Doctor Strange mostly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I think I would agree with you there. This show is gonna wrap up its own thing, but also just like sort of leeway to Doctor Strange, because Kevin Feige has mentioned that you gotta watch all of the shows too to understand the whole MCU. So that's just more work for the audience, I guess. But I guess in this time of age, just like, hey, more content for us, yay. But But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna wrap up. Next week we are going into the 80s. So that's like, I want to say Full House, or is that the 90s?
That might be 90s or close to it.
Okay. But yeah, we'll be going to the 80s, more of the cheesy stuff. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing where all this goes. So yeah, so you can find us on most places you find podcasts, like Spotify and Amazon Music. Once again, our friends will be covering the MCU movies on Return of the Movie, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. So yeah, I'm Kenny, and that's Jose. We'll see you next week, and as always, it's 2FAST2MOVIE.